Lastly, on this lifting card, guys, we're going to address some of our finishers towards the bottom. And then from there, we'll talk about what changes on lifting cards from week to week or bi-weekly as well. I think there are some things that we're always adjusting for you guys on our 12 to 16 week programs based off of our phase. So I'll kind of talk to you about which variables will change and what you're looking for as we progress through the weeks. So typically at the bottom, we'll try to add some finishers yet again to complement our Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, or potentially Wednesdays, Fridays, depending on what we have. Always remember that you can ask the coach if there's nothing presented here to you guys or kind of what the movement is or how we can address it going forward. Now I think when it comes to the variables that can change from there, know that barbell bench press is kind of our universal lift for that Tuesday. We can always have modifications in place. Now, particularly here, we do not have a modification listed. But remember, you can always ask the coach that if this is something that bothers you, if we need to adjust it, or in terms of training history or training age, there's always a regression or a progression that can be added in there for you. So like on Mondays for you guys, we will see some squat variation depending on the regression and progression there. Always a modification that can be added. For this particular day, it would be the bench press. Some examples for that could be the floor press. We could add the two board to the chest as well. Other things can be added in. So I think as we make our way through this list here, I'm going to talk about the exercise selection. Particularly, think this can always shift and adjust every 2 to 3 weeks depending on our phase. So remember the forward lunge here, for example, during our accessory work can slowly change, but the movement itself might always be similar, meaning this is a single leg lower body movement. I think as we progress here, it's always going to stay around the same depending on the progression that we're taking. From there, the sets and reps will adjust. Think sets will probably stay about the same typically depending on where we're at. What you're going to be looking for here is the rep ranges. So as we progress every 2 or 3 weeks, let's say 10 each leg might turn into 12 each leg, or it might turn into 8 each leg. So that's how we're trying to adjust things for you guys as we move forward in this lifting card. From there, I'm going to bring you back up here to the top. So this is the big one here in terms of our meat and potatoes when it comes to the bench press. These percentages will always change, but it is an inverse effect with our rep ranges. So as we increase these percentages here, you'll usually see the volume decrease or the number decrease here in terms of the number of reps that we'll be performing. Inverse effect, if we are increasing the rep ranges here, you'll typically see this number right here decrease in terms of percentage. From there, just know that as these things progress, it always will be so slowly or gradually. We'll never try to have a spike in any of these numbers throughout our training phase.